Welcome to I Can't Remember Shit, a memory podcast. I'm your host, Evan Barton, and every episode, me and a lovely guest take a topic of my choosing and discuss our favorite and least favorite memories related to said topic. To preserve the subjectivity of memory and to challenge our own brains, my guests don't know the topic ahead of time, which often leads us both to say, I can't remember shit. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of I Can't Remember Shit. I am so excited to welcome Miss Kiana Davenport Jade to the show.
Hi, hello. How's everybody doing?
What is up? You hosting a gig
Hello.
in the podcast studio? Hey, everybody.
I went straight waving. I was like, there's a camera. So, I mean, hey, good morning.
Well, you look fabulous, darling.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you
I'm
so
excited
much
to be
for
here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for doing this. I was like, we've been in a little queer dodgeball league recently,
Yes.
and we got to get to know each other a little more. And I was like, we've got to get this girl on the pod.
I was excited. I started watching the pod. I actually saw yours and Josh's, I think, was like the first one I saw.
Yes.
And it was in the midst of had a couple cocktails. I don't really remember everything about what I watched, but
Oh, so you were fully embodying the show. I can't remember
Yes.
shit. I'm not going to remember shit.
Help me to remember this shit.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. Well, thank you again so much for being here. As you know, this is a memory podcast, so we talk a lot about memories. We go into it. We can get deep. We can get silly, sincere, all of those things. But let me
Sorry, I'm
ask.
dabbing my eye. These damn allergies in Oklahoma.
Oh,
so-
baby, it's April showers, all the allergies. You are
Ugh.
good. When you think about memories, what comes to your mind?
Ooh, so many different memories. Lots of family memories. Lots of life memories of just like adult shit.
Mm-hmm.
Work. I work in healthcare and have been in healthcare for 19 years. So I have a
Period.
lot of. Damn, that just made me sound old as hell. Rude. Slayed myself. So I have memories of a lot of things. Some of the funny, happy, like, oh, I made a difference in that person's life, and a lot of my
Yeah.
oh shit memories. Like,
Mhm.
you came in and you have what inside your what? Okay.
I'm here for you, girl.
Let the Lord use you. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, at this point, we're not doxing nobody's age, but like we're at the age as in our adulthood, I think, where we do remember a lot of things. We remember our own childhood. We've got a
Mhm.
lot of our own adulthood. We've got
Mhm.
our many lives that we've kind of started in our adulthood.
Mhm.
I've got a life that is my work, but also a life that is my love life, my sex life,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
everything. I'm building memories for all of that.
Girl.
And I know
Good and bad.
good and
sometimes.
bad.
In the sex life, in the adult life, in the
In the drag life,
in the
maybe.
oh God, the drag life. There's yeah.
How old is Miss Kiana Davenport Jade?
Ooh, okay. So Kiana was born 2017.
Her.
I started off. I actually started performing first as a male lead entertainer. I'm a 2-time Mr. Oklahoma,
Yes.
and then I started doing drag while I was Mr. Oklahoma at large. Back in 2017, but I did it as a fundraiser for OYP, which is no longer open.
Okay.
But we started doing turnabout shows where we would have, it was actually at Area 18, which is also no longer open.
Yes.
God, the amount of
That
bars
was
I
Saturn
used
Room,
to-
right?
No, it was actually across the way from Saturn Room. It
Okay.
used to be, it was what was the name of that club? It was because Club Pink was here. It was
Girl, we had a Club Pink in Tulsa.
bitch. We had a Club Pink across, which was across the street from the Saturn Room.
Oh wow.
And then I can't remember what the name. It was another fucking color.
It's another color.
We went through this weird phase, like in the oh God, what was that? Like 2013? No. Like
I remember Renegades.
2011, 2012, like all in that area. We had just random clubs that were all clubs of color. Like color.
Interesting.
There was Club Red, there was Club Pink.
Club
there
Pink. I live for
was-
Club Pink.
But you know, the club back when I used to, and these were all the kind of quote unquote hoodlum bars, bitch, because
Mm.
it was very, I was 21. hanging out. I had like no gay friends.
Yeah.
So I used to hang out with all of my girls that I worked with at the hospital after I turned 21.
And those baddies go
girls,
out.
and these were the bitches that were the baddies that were twerking next to the DJ that only fucked with the hood black boys at the bar.
Interesting.
So then somehow I got in cool with I was the gay friend that as long as I don't hit on them, it was fine. And I was like, girl, you're not that cute. But then there was some where I'll be like, hey, sir.
Hey.
There were some unique encounters.
Oh, absolutely.
That,
we might get into those.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I'm joking. But Miss Kiana has been around for a while now. I love that.
And then we got serious. Sorry, I like fully sidetracked, but
no, you're good.
Started as a turnabout fundraiser queen, and then one of my friends was like, why don't you just see if you can win a pageant? Compete as a girl, because everybody kept telling me I need to do drag. And then I was just like, no, I'm not going to be a drag queen. Blah, blah, blah. I decided to do a pageant, started getting serious about drag back in 2000, the end of 18, did my first pageant in February of 2019. And I lost. I got like third alternate to Kiana Davenport from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes. Claim to fame, honey.
We competed for Miss Oklahoma Bold and Beautiful. And then I turned around and competed and won every category but one. And that was only by a few points. I lost one stage question and won Miss Oklahoma Bold and Beautiful Newcomer.
Okay, 19. I've heard that pageants are won in the interview category.
Oh yeah.
I need to.
She wins that.
She wins that.
I'm now a 5-time Miss Oklahoma.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations. You have an amazing career, and we are lucky to have you amongst our drag repertoire here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes.
And last night I went to the Margaret show, the Twisted Art show, and they had the gay agenda. Show at the beginning. It was so funny, actually.
So funny. I didn't even realize there were going to be all these queens doing the opening for it. And there was like so many people at Eagle after the show, like talking about how great Margaret was.
Yes.
Like how great her comedy was. And bitch, everybody was just fucked up. Everybody was drunk. And I was like, did y'all just leave a comedy special? Why is everybody turned?
That's why, because they were just at the comedy school.
Just drinking at Cane's. And I'm just like, okay, bitch.
It was really fun. I had a great time. Shout out to Twisted Arts. But let's kind of dive into what we're going to talk about today. We'll get started in our memory banks, and my first question for you is what we're going to go into our first memories of each other. And we kind of rehearsed this one a little bit because you had asked me, like,
and I was trying to remember because I was trying to place it, but then we both remembered at the same time.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
But let's tell the story. I would love to hear it from your perspective, just because I was operating on a completely different wavelength than you all were.
Was it the Black Queer Tulsa Pride event?
Yes.
Or was it just one of the get-togethers?
I remember it was the event where you and London performed. I was kind of like the volunteer talent wrangler,
wow.
if you will.
We're over here in the back just being loud, talking about where is the alcohol at? I left that function so full. I was drunk during it and sobered up, so then we left after by the time. So we were over here knocking back Crown and something else.
Yes.
Acting foolish.
I love it.
And you were nowhere near as
I was professional.
No, I'm saying you were because when I saw you at Dodgeball, I was like, oh, Evan has been to the gym.
Yes, that's
Evan has been to the gym. You were a little bit more twink adjacent at that time.
Absolutely.
A little bit more twink adjacent. now twunk adjacent.
Yes. On my Grindr profile, it says Tulsa Twunk.
Oh my God, does it?
Yes. I fully claim it because, like, you're right. I have been to the gym.
Mother could never. She's a thickie and always has been.
No tea. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. I love some cake.
No tea.
I'll eat it too.
Oh, stars. Lady of the Lord. Oh my.
But yeah, I remember that was my first introduction to, or really just like my first one-on-one interaction with drag queens in Tulsa. I had been
that event was,
yes.
Oh wow.
Because I had met. I mean, I hadn't like met anyone and been like, hi, my name is Evan. Hi, and hi, my name is like insert a drag queen. I had been to Majestic plenty of times and seen Chanel. But at that point, I was not at all. I wasn't in community with the drag drag queens.
Okay.
But I'm so glad that I am now. I've had the opportunity to book London and Shire for an event through my work, which has been amazing. And then now I would call us friends, which is super cute
for sure.
And I know Miss Tracy. Tracy
Lord,
LaLouise,
my good girlfriend.
That girl is wild. I love her so much. She cracks me up.
She is a wild one. That is my good girlfriend. I bullied her into doing Miss Tulsa America.
Good.
I was Miss Oklahoma America at the time, and I bullied her into doing Miss Tulsa, and she was like, "I'm not a pageant girl. Oh, girl, blah blah blah." And then she won Miss Tulsa, and then she won Miss Oklahoma, and then she made the 10 at Miss Gay America. And
exactly.
I was like, shut the hell up and just
not a pageant girl. It goes on.
let somebody who has the eye just help you and you hush.
Absolutely. Well, I love that.
Loud.
Oh, yes. Most of the drag queens I know are a little loud.
I mean, I think it's almost a prerequisite.
Absolutely. You can't be, there's not very many demure drag queens out there.
Yeah.
And if they are,
they have social anxiety.
Exactly. They're the social media queens.
Most of the time are the social anxiety diva dolls. So they're like, let me do my number and walk to the back.
Yes, and I will. I'm only going to be demure when I'm collecting my tips. But I'm excited to actually dive into our topic today. So as you may know, I pick a topic for you and I to discuss. We're going to go through our favorite and least favorite memories relating to that topic. What do you think it is, Miss Kiana Davenport?
I have no idea.
You don't know what we're going to talk about?
No,
okay,
you haven't even given me any clues. When we were at our last dodgeball game, you were like, "Do you want a clue?" And I said, "I don't know." And you're like, "I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait."
I have historically never told anybody beforehand what the topic is, but I'm really excited to talk about this topic today. We are going to dust off our filing cabinets, dive into our hippocampuses where memory is stored, and we are going to reminisce on today's topic. And that topic is, girl, it's drag. We gotta talk about drag.
I was like, I thought that was gonna be too obvious of a thing, so I was like, girl, this is gonna be some. I was like, if this takes some hardcore political turn, I'm gonna be over here.
I was like, the medical industry.
We could talk about medical industry before I'd be ready to talk about politics for an hour.
Oh, baby, I'm not talking about politics. No. Well, I mean, drag is political.
Drag is very much so political.
Absolutely, and I think it has space in this conversation, but I feel honored to have a drag queen and someone has been working in a space that I really admire. I've wanted to be a drag queen and I've thought about it a lot, and I'm honing my craft.
Do it.
Aren't you tired of girls saying that?
No, because I live for. What's funny is drag is very different now compared to if you talk to some of the queens who we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have
all the resources.
We didn't have all the resources, let alone having men and male presenting people who will just blast their mug for the back row bitch at 2:00 in the afternoon and then just be doing a photo shoot on Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely.
And have millions of followers on TikTok and YouTube and
varying degrees of success with drag. Absolutely.
And even just not even with just drag. There was not makeup resources on how to soften your face.
Yes.
Being an AMAB person. It's a lot of trial and error. And I live for the fact that there are a lot though, but there are some entertainers who are brand new and they're very pretty because they've been doing drag at home for 10 years since they were 12. And then they come out at 21, or the kids that come to Majestic and they've been doing makeup, dabbling in makeup because they have a family that does not care and they've been doing makeup at home for 7 years. And it's sickening. I live for that. We just don't always have the most humble people sometimes that I've noticed that are coming from that side because they know they're pretty because they get boosted all over social media. But then it's
well, and it's this whole thing that's I think is happening on Drag Race right now is can you be pretty and can you have talent at the same time? There's a lot of people that are thinking that they just have raw talent and they can become pretty, or they are pretty and they don't actually have to have raw talent.
I would rather someone have raw talent because beauty can be learned. Because baby, my makeup has fully been a journey,
and beauty is
but you can buy
somewhat subjective, you know.
But you also can buy. You can have all the money in the world and buy the most expensive makeup and be pretty and have a 40-inch human unit on at all times and know how to flip your hair and have some of the most elegant costumes ever because you're just like, oh, girl, let me just go get this $1,000 beaded costume. Just this is what I want to do. I want to turn it for the girls. But you have no stage presence whatsoever.
Absolutely.
Stage presence and talent can't be
Absolutely.
It can't be bought.
I think that, my exposure to drag initially was through Drag Race. And so as much as it is rooted in that, I have also expanded my horizons to know that you have to understand what your local scene is like, and you have to go out there and see what drag is like on the pavement. And so although that is how I am informed in the art of drag, I have seen it done so many ways.
For sure.
So many ways. And like, there really is a range of talent. And I am really excited to get to talk to you about it today. I think that there is a lot of spaces that we can approach this from. You, being a performer, I'm going to approach it specifically as like my exposure to drag, what I have seen, my favorite memories about the art form of drag. You can approach it however you want. If it's your favorite memory in drag, if it's your least favorite memory in drag, or like a scenario that has happened around you doing drag.
Right.
But I would love for you to go first and share with us what your favorite memory about drag is.
Oh, my favorite memory. Honestly, this is going to be funny. So when I got into drag and pageantry, and like Kiana getting into pageantry, a big part of like my inspiration was being around like Chanel Sterling, being around like Lindsay Page, being around London and all of them. And like when I competed for Miss Oklahoma Bold and Beautiful and competed against Kennedy, I feel like I still held my weight. I mean, she won the pageant, but I feel like it was great, but it pushed me because I already had like my best friend, King Lalo, who then became Kennedy's king, because we were trying to compete to reign together as king and queen.
Oh, cute.
And so Eddie won, Kennedy won, and then I turned around and did newcomer, and I won. And I won every category but one.
Yep.
And honestly, my favorite memory was being able to be part of, because B&B, it was when it like was making its resurface after like 2 or 3 years. After being off the map for like 6. And I got to see after Eddie and then won, because it was 6 months between me losing and then me competing and winning. And I got to experience like finally being part of the B&B photos when we're out and about. Like people would be running around, going to bars, going to the grocery store, doing stuff, and everybody be like, oh, we got to get a B&B photo. I was happy to just be part of that shit. I was happy to be part of that shit. I won that 6 years ago, and I still am just happy as could be to be able to be like,
absolutely, the legacy of all that.
Like to be part of that, because the first ever time I ever saw drag was at Club Majestic when Chanel won Miss Oklahoma Bold and Beautiful.
Oh, that's amazing. Chanel was also the first drag queen I ever saw in person.
Yeah. And like Chanel really kind of helped me get my start even as a like a male lead.
Yeah.
Like at Renegades. Renegades is where I got my
Renegades.
start.
Yes. I went to Renegades once with my fake ID.
Once with a fake ID. It's wild. But I'm sure there were plenty of fake IDs around that bitch.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I love to hear that. I think that like specifically Bold and Beautiful, and you please inform everyone listening, even myself, like the history of the pageant in some ways. But my understanding is that like Bold and Beautiful and really like pageant, like drag pageantry is like, I think, a tenet of Black culture and Black queer culture. I don't know specifically about Bold and Beautiful, but like how does that all play in?
Bold and Beautiful started off very much so as a Black pageant system. Sarah De La Hoya, when she won in 2018, was the first ever white Miss Oklahoma Bold and Beautiful.
Okay.
And Oklahoma Bold and Beautiful started back in like 2000 and oh gosh, I used to have all this memorized. I don't remember anymore.
The herstory.
it had like a big break. London was like the last one, and then London and Justin bought it and then brought it back.
Okay,
and,
cool.
Like we've been known around the country. Like I've gone to other states when I was the title holder for Bold and Beautiful. I was in Texas and in Kansas and walking around in my sash being at a pageant. And people were like, "Oh my God, I want to be part of Bold and Beautiful." Like now we have like most people that come from other states to come and compete,
absolutely,
to try to come get their, as we call it, come get your B&B. And
that's cute. I love
it's been.
So the pageant system is so interesting to me because it sounds like essentially it is a like it can be owned in some way or like run by the organizers, and it is a platform to another pageant essentially. Like,
well, a lot of us have like pardon me, for multiple years, a lot of us would like do Bold and Beautiful, and then it was our way to like push us towards other pageants. Like the it's not a national system, like it's Oklahoma only, but it's open to out of Oklahoma
Okay, got you.
residents. But a lot of us have like gone on to win other titles while being like Bold and Beautiful. Like I was the first ever one to be Miss Oklahoma Bold and Beautiful newcomer and also become Miss Gay Oklahoma US of A newcomer at the same time.
Okay, yes.
So
the US of A makes me laugh a little bit because that name cracks me.
I know, but there's like, girl, if you think about like how everybody tries to just flip this country's name into a pageant system, it's crazy. You've got US of A, you have USA Unlimited, you've got
Gay USA or
Gay America,
Gay America.
You've got Miss Gay United States, you've got Miss North America.
You've got the page. The pageant system is
they want you to know this damn country is you were part of the damn
and they say we are patriotic.
Child. They gonna let you know. But then of course you have other titles that don't have the U.S. in the name, but there's every version of how you gonna call what you gonna call this country. There's a pageant named after it.
Absolutely. So, going back to your favorite memory in this pageant, what were some of your talents? What were some of your numbers? And maybe walk us through that a little bit.
Ooh, so competing for Bold and Beautiful, that whole experience was actually really great because the experience of competing for newcomer. Like I made my mark with regular. I had more people wanting to help me like really get towards doing the pageant. Like I had Eddie, who then won, was one of my backup dancers. My friend Valentino, who was stepping down as Mr. Oklahoma Bold and Beautiful newcomer, was part of my talent. Chanel and Francesca, they made my gown. Fran made my presentation. And just got
these are all names creative. I know. These are all people that are still doing that are still in drag and still I think at the top, like here in Tulsa, are doing they consist of our Tulsa drag scene, and that's awesome. It's a strong community.
We became a very tight knit group very early, and it's just gotten stronger throughout the years. And like drag really does like create a community.
Absolutely.
There is drama in drag or whatever, but it usually seems like everybody
no
with the gays. Absolutely
not. No drama.
But drag honestly like made a community and a second family for me.
I love that.
So like, and I'm really not one of the girls that's really caught up in drama.
Good.
With stuff.
Stay that way.
I'm old. I ain't got time for that bullshit. You were over here you were a 23-year-old trying to get all up in my baby back. Sit down and go take a multivitamin and go somewhere. Take your Flintstone vitamin and get out of my face. Thank you so much.
Well, and honestly, like I feel like you're talking about an experience at Club Majestic where the kiddies do run around.
But the kids will be over here doing, and these kids will be social media warriors. They will be, and I've heard many stories because again, I don't have much drama and haven't had much drama within my drag experience for the most part. Because a lot of it, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, and
you have to put in so much effort to give a fuck and want to argue with somebody about stuff.
Absolutely.
I don't argue with grown adults.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Like, I think that makes sense. And like at the end of the day, like drag is an art form that like you are, I don't know. I think about it fundamentally as like you are getting to be your full authentic self and embrace the side of you that has feminine qualities, but also being you at the same time.
Right.
That's what I love about like, even so I identify as gender fluid and I play in mother's things from time to time and put on makeup and wearing a skirt today and things like that like actually make me feel really solid in who I am. And that's why the journey to drag feels like a logical one for me, because there's also I like to entertain other people as a part of that. And so I know that's obviously at the heart of why you do drag. And so all the bullshit stays the bullshit. It becomes very clear why you do what you do when you love it. Yeah. And I love that you love it. And I love that you have a community. I think you have a strong community. You got some good friends that support each other.
And I have people that like check in on me from across the country, like pageantry. And that's the other thing, like the networking that can happen within drag is crazy. When you're just somebody who can be put together, who can be friendly, who can be respectful, who can be someone that doesn't just have to run around like your shit don't stink, and you can just be like a genuine, like, kind person.
Yeah.
The networking is crazy. Like, I've been reached out, and I've had some things, like, I've been asked to come work in, like, Arizona and Nebraska and Colorado and different things.
The
And sometimes
gigs.
it doesn't always work out just because it's like, okay, for me to do this, like, I understand you want me to come down, but it has to make sense.
Am I going to get a vacation out of it?
Well, it's not even that I need the vacation out of it, but if I'm going to drive 10 hours to come work at this bar, we're going to have to make it financially worth it, because that's 10 hours one way to come work, do, okay, maybe a Friday and a Saturday at your bar.
Yeah.
But it's got to financially work out, because
The drag economy is
I'm gonna
huge.
have to, yeah, like, drag is, and I tell people all the time that want to do drag, I'm like, drag is a commitment. Drag is hard on your body, and you have to be ready to spend money.
Yeah.
And people don't really realize that, but it's like, you want to sit over here and wear all these coiffed wigs that these girls wear on Drag Race. Those are,
girl, that unit is $1,500
to $500
yeah.
for this wig. Oh, and then you want to wear all these human units, and you want a 200 density, 400, like 40-inch, 613 dyed,
good luck,
360 lace wig, and you got $100. Good luck, Buki.
Yeah,
good luck.
Well, and I think that's interesting. It's an interesting point about like the whole, one of my barriers to drag, I felt like, was that like financial piece, and something that I saw as like an antidote to that was to have a drag family.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that there is some shared resources in the drag family?
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, yeah. I have one of my friends, and of course, like, my drag kids, one of my drag kids, she can wear my stuff. I also have like very skinny drag daughter who cannot fit any of my things. But I have one drag daughter that she will borrow my stuff, and I don't have a problem with it because I know she'll take care of it, or she's gonna have to pay for it to replace it.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said when you have it's something to be said when you have community. And that's the thing, like, especially when you start doing drag, you're not gonna get the money you're gonna put into it.
No.
You're gonna be trying to, because the thing is, you've got to be building your closet and having new things to be taken seriously. But at the same time, it's like kind of hard to want to spend $150 to $250 on every wig.
Yes, absolutely.
And then $150, you know, $75 to $150 or $200 and something on costumes, and you don't have any.
Yeah.
Then you add in, you need tights, you need pads, you need boobs, you need corset, you need, like, it's a lot to first start doing drag.
Yes.
Like, and people don't realize that. And this is gonna sound kind of fucked up, but I started doing drag towards the end of 2019 is when I really started building my closet. COVID hit, and I was a travel nurse at the time. So I just started spending money because I was making so much and not going anywhere. So I was literally buying groceries and I was at my house. I was working and I was at my house. So I just started investing a bunch of money into my drag. So when
I love that.
life opened back up, I had lots of things. Like, I mean, I had things ready, and like, I was a Bold and Beautiful title holder, and like, Bold and Beautiful, when we do our walks at other pageants, we have to have matching looks. I was also Miss Oklahoma US of A newcomer, and I had 5 prelims to get ready for it. So I started getting ready for my prelim season during lockdown. So like, when my prelim season finally started, like, or I won Miss Oklahoma after the world opened back up.
Yeah.
But I had already started preparing for winning and reigning and being more visible, because I was ready to get back out there, because I was in a very like crazy state.
Well, drag was your life, and
drag
have it for as much as the lockdown lasted for some of us.
Drag has been an outlet for me for a lot of like emotions. Like, I was always like, I was a theater kid. I played sports. I did so many things. And then you have stuff like COVID happen, and you have like no outlets other than to just go walk in nature with
literally
like, one other person.
Yeah.
For how many ever months it was, I don't even remember.
Long time.
Kind of like, I didn't have the stress outlet that I needed.
Yeah.
Like, my stress outlet then became cooking, which meant I put on weight, because bitch, I was over here at home bored making pasta from scratch. Like, that makes any kind of damn sense in a 1-bedroom apartment, but we made it do.
But you did it because you could do anything.
And then child drag finally opened back up, and I was able to start knocking some of these calories off.
There we go.
My feet were like, "Ooh, you haven't worn heels in months."
Oh, I know that. I do be dabbling in the heels, and those get me after one use. Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you my favorite memory about drag.
Okay, I'm excited to hear this. Sorry,
And so,
I rambled.
oh no, you're so fine. So I've been watching and a participant in drag culture for. I started watching Drag Race in season 6, so it's been literally almost 10 years, 11 years now. And that all of the watching of Drag Race and then going to shows and like building my knowledge of the drag community, like now it's also like listening to podcasts of drag queens. Like I'm a sibling. I'm a sibling with Sibling Rivalry, Baba Monet. I listen to every episode of Race Chaser with Willem in Alaska. And like I just
listen back to that one.
Love that.
Do you listen to Bald and Beautiful?
I do, yeah. They're hilarious too. So I consume so much drag content. And so I finally had the opportunity to like go to a place where I could see like as many drag queens as possible when I went to DragCon in 2022. And I also went in 2023.
How was that?
Amazing.
I still have never been, and I keep saying I want to go, but then I'm like,
they're not doing it anymore, or at least in the US. They haven't done DragCon.
Okay, yeah,
they're not doing it this year
because they had DragCon UK not too long ago.
In January.
Yeah,
and so I went in 2022. This was season 15 had just ended, and then or season 14 had just ended, and then 2023 it was season 15 had just ended. Okay. So I saw. I got to meet so many queens, and also drag is global for me because I watch all the international versions as well. Watched the Philippines, I've watched the UK, I've watched España. And so when I went in 2023, I think is the one I'll say is my favorite memory, because I got to meet like basically the entire cast of Drag Race Philippines, and I got to meet which is like 9 or 10 girls coming from across the world. And at the time, my partner was Filipino. And so I kind of had a little bit of like an entry point into every conversation with all of them. Like, my partner's Filipino. And they would start speaking together. But I got to meet Marina Summers that year, and Minty Fresh, and so many other girls. I got to meet Stephanie Prince and Victoria Scone. I also got to meet Lucy LaDuca. Who I do love me some Lucy LaDuca. And that year I also met Denali, and every year I've also met Priyanka that I had gone, which Priyanka.
I have a Priyanka story.
I love me some Priyanka. Priyanka is like, I watched her season of Drag Race and fell in love with her then. And then she also had the opportunity to come to Tulsa to do We're Here, which was amazing. And I think like, getting to have that through line with some of these people that I had seen on TV and to these in-person interactions. And then she came to my town. Right. I was like, this is crazy. And this is why like I revere drag queens as like my idols in some ways. Like they're the people that I watch on the internet and on TV. And I'm like, I want to be like them.
So you remember when she came here?
Yes.
So when they had it at the Mercury Lounge,
was there at the show.
I was one of her backup dancers.
Yes, I remember, girl.
And that was
you got up on stage from the crowd.
Yes, that was wild because I got like randomly connected to backup dance for Priyanka for that night, like that event.
Yes,
and that was so much fun. But the amount of people from around the country that were like tagging me, be like, "All right, Kiana, I see you," and I'm like, "Hey," but. One thing I can very much so appreciate about Priyanka is so just down to earth. She's just one of the girls. She was not bougie at the fact she was on Drag Race. She damn sure was not bougie that she won Drag Race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, she was just one of the girls. Like,
well, okay. And I think that whole show's premise, I'm like literally devastated that I got canceled, because I do think that show was doing a lot in terms of like exposing the like, I think the like heart of drag in some ways, like the transformative power of drag, the ability to, I think, see someone in their full authentic self.
Some people getting in drag is what gets rid of their social anxiety.
Absolutely.
Getting in drag is it's some people's therapy. Like, that's the thing. People don't realize sometimes when it's not, the queen's not over here death dropping, jump splitting, and high kicking to one of the top 40s. Sometimes drag is our therapy.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to do a song.
Sometimes talking to the crowd is like, and getting a real human reaction is like what you needed that day to be like. Sometimes
I need to do this random ass breakup song out the blue. And people are like, You're not saying
I needed to do this
I
mega
just needed
mix.
this song. I needed to do Leave Get Out.
Yeah, exactly. I needed to do potential breakup song.
I needed to just randomly have this day to randomly do this out the blue love song. I needed this day to be my day to like do Paramore and y'all just shut the hell up. And
yes. Or like headbang with me. Like
Yeah.
get into it with me. Like, I don't know. Like
I want the script because bitch, when I do rock or I do country, it always throws people off because they're like, oh, and I'll be over here feeling it when I do rock.
Yes.
But I like to do Taylor Dane and some of the old shit a lot of the time.
Tell it to my heart.
Yes, ma'am. Tell me I'm the only one.
Absolutely. My final little anecdote about the We're Here moment, because I do think it's noteworthy. But if you watch the finale when they do the show in the church, I'm sitting right next to the pastor in drag, or my version of drag. Well, I was wearing a wig and makeup. And that was so fun because I walked in and I was like, yeah, I'm here for the show. And my friend was working on the show and she's like, yeah, come to this slide. And then they, one of the producers or someone saw me whenever I went to like find a seat and they're like, you can sit right here. And it was right next to Father Joseph.
That's hilarious.
Or Father Joshua, I think is his name. He's a very nice man. And honestly, like to allow a church in downtown Tulsa that is Catholic to have drag queens in there. Like I'm saying it like it's crazy, even though it's not crazy to me. It's crazy to the world. But I'm so glad we had that.
And I live not far from that Unitarian church over on Harvard that always has the signs
All
that
Souls,
it's like,
yes.
All Souls. That's very just, if you have a problem with trans people, but not the Nazis, then maybe you are the problem.
Exactly.
And
they will tell it. They will tell it.
Maybe the way that church does not mind reading on the signs as you drive by, leaving Miss Brown.
They said if this applies to you, check yourself or whatever.
Baby, they gathered me when I see the signs. I was like, oh,
I love it. Well, and it's important. They show up at Pride. They're actually like, I think putting their, I think they're actually like putting their faith not aside, but into the love that their faith is supposed to stand for. I mean, they're literally walking in what they preach. Absolutely. Not a lot of Christians can say that. Well, Miss Kiana, I want to go down into our memory dumps. So if you go into your hippocampus, which is where your memory is stored, and you take a left, things are going to go left. You're going to fall down in the dumps.
Okay.
And I want to talk about our least favorite memories around drag. I'm percolating on some
least favorite
because there's some interesting ones. It's hard to isolate a single memory about this, but that's the challenge I've given us.
Well, honestly, I think I won't even say it's my worst memory, but it is kind of an embarrassing memory. Like looking back, and I think that's why I don't like this memory so much. I had competed for a prelim for Mr. Oklahoma America. I competed for Mr. Heart of the South. And I lost to a newcomer. I did like this big production for talent, and one of my dancers just kept messing up. And I knew after talent was done, I was just upset. I won interview. And then back then we had a category called club wear, which now is formal wear, but it was club wear back then. I hated club wear. I thought it was the stupidest fashion category for a pageant ever because what they would always tell you is club wear is dressing like you're going to a high-end club in Miami for your birthday is what they would always say. Like, so what would you wear? I fucking hated that category because I competed at the national level for Mr. USA at large twice. And I did very well both times, so my club wear always fucked me up.
That's such a bizarre category.
I hate it because because what they might like one year, if you pull out what they like the year before, you will do terrible.
It's like drag family resemblance. But every year they change.
But worse, because they would be like, okay, you don't want to be too formal. Because one year they lived for the boys wearing blazers and damn near leaning towards sportswear. Yeah. But then they'll be like the next year, oh, that's too formal. But then if you wore like a mesh t-shirt, some really like custom fitted jeans and a shirt that was made just for you and like some nice shoes, some nice like high top sneakers, that's too casual. Sneakers shouldn't be part of club wear. Well, bitch, you said, what would I wear?
What would I wear?
And what I would wear is, and it used to wear me out because some of the boys like, we had boys that were very much so into leather. So like
Yeah.
you had guys that would be over here like in a leather harness,
Yes.
leather jeans, like that look, leather jeans, like their leather pants, some nice boots, a mesh shirt, and a harness, and that was like a $700 look.
Absolutely.
But oh well, no, bitch. You said what would they wear? Maybe where the high end club they're going to is still a leather bar. Maybe it's like I
Exactly.
hated that because I'm like, especially now that I really have like leaned into like really enjoying leather.
Yeah.
That shit is expensive as hell.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like
we got to get our harnesses though.
I have multiple.
Oh, period. Me next. I'm next.
Yeah, there's a bro behind this broad sometimes. It was just a category that was hard. But anyway, like, so I lost the pageant and I got upset. Not that I expected to win, but I got upset because like some of the people that were there were all like, oh, we know you're about to win the pageant. We know you're about to win the pageant. And then everybody was just acting so weird after the pageant was done when I lost.
Mm.
And they were like, but I know it wasn't your fault. It was your backup dancers, blah, 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 blah. But it was very weird. So then, like, I was excited for him to, like, win his first pageant. I'd already been a 2-time Mr. Oklahoma. It wasn't like I was missing out on the experience. But, like, it was, I still got my ticket to go to nationals. I still qualified. I was first all.
Yes.
Or not to nationals, to go to state. But I got so upset in the back dressing room. I started sobbing. And it was so embarrassing because it wasn't that I was mad I lost the pageant. I was just kind of like mad at the situation and then like how awkward everybody got afterwards. So my feelings were just hurt. And I even congratulated him and everything, but looking back at it, it was kind of low-key embarrassing that I was just in the, like, I'm talking sobbing, bitch. I was sobbing. It wasn't just a few tears running down. I was sobbing.
I think that is a common, that's a common emotion that I would expect from some queens because like, from what I know, you're putting a lot of money, time, and energy into this. So you get to have all of those feelings. Let a diva have her moment.
Oh, completely. And I don't fault people for having human emotions. Like, I think people should stop faulting people for having human emotions. But
you didn't want to put that man down.
I didn't want it to, because I felt like it was kind of off-putting towards him. Because it was like one of the ones I was pushing to also come compete so we could go to state together.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot. It's
tough. I think
I don't have a bunch of like hardcore bad memories.
That's good. keep it that way. I
try.
If I could advise. Honestly, I'm sitting here racking my brain for some, and like I have one that I don't feel like I should discuss on a camera, but another one that
I want to know that
one. Another one that I think this is just ultimately this might be a little recycled in some ways, but like I feel like I was like devastated a little bit to hear that Shangela is canceled. Do you know about this?
So I still want to know.
I got all the tea.
Girl, I still don't even know all the tea on it because it hurt my feelings. Because, you know, a lot of people know this. Me and Shangela used to come to Tulsa.
Yeah.
And just Kiki. And like, I have 3 distinct memories of hanging out with Shangela here in Tulsa, driving her to Whataburger, going back to the hotel, kikiing. Like, I have hung out and kikied with
a lot of queens,
quite a few Drag Race girls, and been booked in the shows. But Shangela used to come. This was actually even like the last time she came, Area 18 was open, and she just popped up at the club, and it was like me, Chanel, King Lalo, Francesca, and Shangela all just hanging out, drinking, doing shots, and like
having a good time.
Having a good, like, innocent time when there was nobody just, like, fangirl and acting crazy with her being there.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people just didn't recognize her because she was just out of drag, had her hair pulled up in a bun, and she was just, hey, girl, blah, blah, blah. Like,
all in all, I think that, like, the fact that I have idolized as many drag queens as I have from the show that has given them a platform for me to respect them, it pains me when someone is canceled. Cancel culture like actually affects me because like or at least it affects me when it comes to drag queens because like those are my people. That is most oftentimes a member of the LGBT community. They're oftentimes a person of color are typically the queens that I gravitate towards the most. Not all the time, but most of the time. And so when it comes out that like either they're a shitty person, or they've done something that they are doubling down on, which I think is really the case of Shangela. It hurts that we can't that there's no rectification in the queer community for this type of stuff. It's something to be taken seriously, because if you have a platform, there comes some consequences to that. And the consequences can be that your platform is taken away from you.
Which is kind of terrifying, because like, I feel like too, there are some times that I feel like some people are over here getting canceled, and I feel like cancel culture is so crazy. And people will really like low-key try to cancel you for something silly.
Yes, absolutely.
And so like, it's kind of terrifying, because I'm just like, because I think about, I've tried out for Drag Race. I'm still thinking about trying out again. And I do decently far in the process of, doing everything.
Yeah.
And it's kind of terrifying to think like something so simple, or the wrong interaction with the wrong person.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-and-so's a bitch. And it's like, no, girl, you were over
trying
here
to cast bitches on the show.
And I'm like, but also, Miss Thing, can somebody not just be off and like not just be on all the time? Like,
absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with just because you're a celebrity not wanting to people that day.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's an interesting point. Are drag queens that are on the show considered celebrities? I think they're celebrities in the spaces that they're in.
Yeah.
But that's a little different.
But I also think there's something to appreciate if you're like a Drag Race queen, because you're not going to be recognized everywhere you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, if you're shopping in WeHo, then these folks are going to be like, oh my God, that's so-and-so.
Yeah,
absolutely. But also sometimes too, they, when you're in Los Angeles, you're going to run into celebrities, and people eventually just kind of get that thing of like, let me not come over here and flip out.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
please respect.
I think it's also kind of crazy to be all up in somebody's face at 5:00 in the morning in the airport. Like, girl.
Oh my gosh. Airport paparazzi killed me. And so many Drag Race queens have like, not horror stories, but just like annoying stories of like fan interactions.
Many of the girls. And it gets very obvious, like when you're in a show with somebody and they have a meet and greet, and it's very like, you're behind the scenes, like in the dressing room. They're like, oh girl, I just need a moment before I have to go back out and do anything else, because I am just so unpeopled. I haven't slept since yesterday. I had a flight straight from Boston to fly here.
Or I'm on a bus and we drove here.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
I get it. Working girls.
Yeah, and I'm like, I see why sometimes people are short. Bitch, they're tired.
Yeah.
They had 4 hours of sleep in 3 days because they're getting all these books, because they're doing all these bookings, but it's like, do a booking. Do this.
Yeah.
Maybe you get to sleep. Maybe you have to go straight to your hotel, get ready, go to the venue, do your meet and greets, do the show, and maybe you got 2 hours, so you got to be back on the flight again. Bitch, I'd be in a mood too.
I would be in a mood. I think though, the stories that come to mind for me are not necessarily stories, but just like the moments where like I get heartbroken about someone doing something in drag that they should, or not necessarily in drag, but like a drag queen, the persona is now broken. That person to me is something I've attached to their artistry is now something I can't disentangle.
But I also think
which is sad.
I also think too, it's a double-edged sword, because you also, knowing that you're in the limelight, have to know you can't just be doing any old thing, because bitch, you're not going to be just oh boy and run into them at the club and nobody's gonna know them.
Absolutely.
So like, when you start doing,
you're in community,
shit, you have to know like, girl, you are in
people
the limelight of this community, and you know that these folks talk.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to take that responsibility upon yourself. So I think it's sad when it breaks down, and I think that drag is such an important part of the LGBT community. So I hold drag queens up on my own pedestal, and so for them to betray the community or something like that, it hurts, and that's when I get a little twisted. But we're done with the dumps. We're done with the dumps. Miss Kiana, I have one last question to ask you.
Yeah.
What kind of memories are you looking to make more of going forward?
I want to continue meeting people and traveling. Like, I want, my goal with my drag within the next like year or so is to continue competing. I have my goal on my next pageant, and I'm hoping to then become a national title holder, so then I can experience a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
Like, what is it like to win your first national title? What is it like to now be part of like sometimes these national walks where I get to be around some of these queens who I've looked up to?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the queens I look up to aren't drag race queens. I have an appreciation for a lot of drag race queens.
Oh, absolutely.
But I've met so many and I'm like, girl, your drag is sickening. But what I live for you is the fact that you're just a Kiki.
Yeah.
Like I met Angeria way before she got on Drag Race. I've been in, and like I love Roxy Andrews drag. I've been in a show with Roxy Andrews. Like I was helping like Kiki with her and just making sure she's good, like between meet and greets and like before the meet and greet and after, before the show started. Like I've been in a show with Alyssa Edwards. I was part of We're Here and got to hang out with Latrice again. I haven't seen her in years.
Yeah.
And then I got to see Latrice and Sasha Velour and Priyanka. And I've like been at the pageants where that's where a lot of these girls, like I'm a Davenport. So I mean, I know Kennedy, I know Raja, I know like so many of these girls where I don't see them very often, but it is like a Kiki when we can. Like I met Alexis Mateo years ago at a pageant. Like a lot of these drag race girls that I really, really enjoy are also pageant girls. So I knew them before that.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, I mean, like a lot of the girls that I look up to are a lot of them are queens of color who are more of the plus size girl pageant circuit. Cause they were the ones that made me feel like, oh, okay, I don't have to be, you know, a size 6 to be considered valid in drag and be able to buck and be able to do like, I'm a big girl and I'm 36 and bitch, I can twirl. I can twirl with these 21-year-olds, bitch. I probably can buck you down, depending on the moment.
Not if you buck. Let's go.
Baby. But I want to experience and I want to hopefully eventually, and I feel like sometimes it's kind of the start there, but I want to be that. I want to be that person for somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want somebody else to feel seen, that there are other girls that are out there that can come from Oklahoma and be national queens and travel the country and meet different people and network and get like, just get to be like places that not a lot of people get to be. Like I want to experience a national reign and be able to be like the national queen in some random state where I'm like, oh yeah, we're having a prelim in Nebraska and now I'm here and I'm in Alaska and I'm in Colorado and I'm in whatever. Like I want to do that. Those are the memories, and just meeting people that I've wanted to meet, that I've been friends with on Facebook. And honestly, that sometimes is the funnest thing, is when it's like, I've had it where people have recognized me in drag and out of drag. And it's somebody we've been friends on Facebook for 7 years.
Oh, I love that. That's hilarious.
Well,
because you got 2 profiles.
Well, yeah, I do. But
yes, the community growing that. Sorry, I sidetracked you.
But the community is like, honestly, like one of my favorite things in drag is like getting to know people who all I've done is seen them on Facebook. Yeah. All I've done is, you know, seen them from afar and meeting like these girls like Jessica Jade, who's Miss USA. She's a former Miss America. She's a former Miss Gay United States. And we were at the National Snow Queen pageant in Hickory, North Carolina.
Okay, Hickory.
Bitch. They
got snow in Hickory, North Carolina.
Bitch. Let me just tell you, getting to Hickory, North Carolina was an experience, because I had a friend who was competing, but I was booked to be entertainment for the national pageant. And first of all, driving through the Appalachians, I have never seen so many Go Brandon, Trump flags and Confederate flags just flying hot. I mean,
we're from Oklahoma.
We drew past somebody's house, and I said, if y'all don't keep my black ass in this back seat and keep driving this motherfucking car. I literally drove past a neighborhood where there was like a house that had a big balcony in the back, and like we saw the back of the house, and it was just a huge like Confederate flag and 2 flagpoles that were bigger than the house with the Confederate flags and Trump flags out. And I was just sitting here like, where are we?
And they're over here worried about my rights.
Keep driving. Girl, I'm like that in North Carolina. I'm like that. I was like that in North Carolina, bitch. I was like, there's no extra stops. I'm not going anywhere with drag. I'm already over here black. I'm already over here in drag. We're not doing no extras. No. We're going to go eat. I'm going to get out of drag. We're going to go eat, and then we're going to mind our business. We're not doing all this extra shit, running around in mug and hair, and I'm not doing all that.
Yeah.
And then I'm very much so like that too in Arkansas. If I don't know the town or we're driving
Arkansas
through,
for sure.
We're not doing that, my love.
No.
We're not doing that, my love.
some more memories with community and drag. You just manifested that national title, honey.
Did.
I think I see it for you. I love that. And I would love to support you in whatever way I can.
I want it to happen. It will be a great experience. I want to do it more than once, but I at least want one.
Yes.
Experience.
We'll start with what?
Heaven forbid something happen where I have to retire or I just can't do what I used to be able to do.
Yeah.
These joints start aching more, but you know,
not today, they're not.
I want the experience and I want to be able to entertain across the country.
Absolutely. As you do,
maybe even around the world. Maybe I'll get on Drag Race at some point.
Do it so well. I have had the honor of watching you perform many, many times, and girl, she can twirl.
You know, the pitiful thing is I realized with this season of Drag Race, and it kind of made me mad because, girl, they were calling Lexi Love the auntie and the grandma of the show.
Don't even get me started on that.
32? 33. And I'm like,
the auntie of the season is 33.
And she is the oldest bitch at 33 on Drag Race because all these bitches now are like 21, 23,
Sam
25.
Star is like 22 and Jules is 22.
And I'm just over here like, girl, I'm gonna be over here like
drag elder.
I'm gonna be over here like Safira Cristal on the damn show. The mom, that's kind of a bitch, but also super sweet. That would be me,
but
on
also
the show.
sickening. And
I'm just like, cool. I'm gonna be the old one if I get on Drag Race. Wonderful.
No, but like, you know, the old school, new school.
I like to be the blend. I like to consider myself a mixture of old school meets new school.
Period.
But I'm not new. I'm old school enough that body and pads will always happen.
I agree.
Tights will always happen.
Good.
But
I like a classic drag. I agree with that.
I don't feel the fantasy if I'm not wearing an earring, if I'm not wearing a nail, but bitch, I also get my nails done. So
yes, exactly.
But I need the fantasy. I need to feel like the full figure woman. I feel like I'm gonna look crazy if I'm over here trying to be a thick bitch with no titties, because then it just looks like we've had some medical problems. I just don't like that. I don't like that.
No, she's a woman. Me, she's a woman.
If that's for you, no tea.
Absolutely.
For me, I need to feel the full fantasy.
Mm-hmm. And your drag is valid. Period. Well, Kiana, we did it. We podcasted.
Girl. This was fun. I feel like I rambled a little bit, but I feel like it was a good time.
No, it was a great time. It was a kiki. I so enjoyed having you on and talking about drag, something that I think we both love in different ways, but also in a lot of similar ways. I love the community, and I think we both share that. I have last thing for you. Plug yourself away, Diva. Where can people find you regularly?
You can catch me. I'm not on a regular schedule, but you can catch me at Club Majestic every month. You can catch me every fourth Saturday of the month at Inner Circle Vodka Bar right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we have our show doors open at 2. You can always catch our tickets on Eventbrite. You can just search Inner Circle and find our tickets. You can catch me at the new gallery over off Admiral and Lewis. I have a show there with Josh New. He's a photographer, a sickening photographer, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's a queer-owned space. He is amazing with his art, his photography, his skills are wonderful. Awesome. You can catch me. I'm kind of just a little bit of everywhere.
She's everywhere.
I
follow her on social media.
She's
That's how you're gonna know.
And busy, and sometimes she decides to take some breaks and not work as much in a month. And then the next thing you know, I'm working 3 times a week for a month, and then I'm just tired because I'm irritated because my body hurts. And
Pride is coming up, so I know you're gonna be booked for that.
Lord. And Pride, I love Pride, but let me tell you, there is no queen that is excited to be in tights and pads, and it's 110 degrees outside.
That's why I moved it to October.
It's fun to celebrate Pride,
yeah,
but it is also a job, bitch. When you're just sitting here, you're like,
no, we gotta take care of our community and know that is too much sometimes for even the best of us. Don't need to be out there in 100 degrees.
Yes, and make sure you hydrate when y'all are out here in Pride in a few months, wherever y'all live. It's April here. I don't know when you're gonna watch this, but
it's gonna be hot. Probably.
It's gonna be hot. Drink water. As someone who works in healthcare and as a drag queen, bitch, drink some water before you get out of the heat. Because, girl, nothing kills a number worse than somebody passing out. Girl, that wasn't a death drop. She passed out.
She's gone.
Girl, I'm not trying to be doing CPR, bitch. In drag.
In drag, no, ma'am.
That is not the goal. Oh, one thing I will say that's actually been really sickening.
Yeah.
That has been really cool with my drag, and it's kind of taken like a weird like shift. Not weird, it's been a great shift, but I've actually started like my drag is now starting to be like involved in the kink community and the leather community.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about this. That's
Yes,
amazing.
bitch, I literally hosted a event at one of the dungeons here called Tie Me Up and Spank Me, and it was a fundraiser for Mr. Missouri Leather, getting ready for International Mr. Leather.
Okay.
It was so funny because they literally had me host it, and the money raised went towards him as well as Greenwood Rising.
Oh, cool.
English is hard. So it was like a community event, like community fundraising, as well as like helping him make some money. But it was so funny because it was like the money was raised through like doing some numbers. We had like burlesque, we had a live singer, we had
That's amazing.
A lot of things, and it was great. And then there literally was like a thing where he was like charging, it was like $5 a SWAT to flog him. But we raised some really good money. It was a great time.
Bend me over and squat me, whatever it was.
Bend me over and squat me
and spank me sometimes. Oh, that is so funny.
I live for it. I love that.
Well, we'll see you at the dungeon.
Well,
she's in the dungeon.
You might. She can give you a little like razzle dazzle.
Well, thank you so much, Kiana, and
thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
This has been great.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, I'll be able to come back at some point.
Yes.
Maybe
absolutely.
you'll see the other side of me without the wig.
Yes,
we'll see.
Maybe we'll see. But I love that. No, I'm joking. You're welcome anytime, in or out of drag. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of I Can't Remember Shit.
Bye.